Today we're going to be talking. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dylan Lockwood. Welcome to the WE3 Live Clean Tech Innovation Series. Today we're going to be talking about the promising era of digital transformation for utilities. Utility systems are moving away from analog as they embrace digital solutions for sustainability, customer experience, operations, asset management, and much more. With digital technologies covering a seemingly infinite breadth of applications, how do utilities prioritize investment to ensure reliability short-term and set themselves up for long-term success? And with that, I will pass the conversation over to Smart Energy Water founder Deepak Garg. Deepak, take it away.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, everybody, for joining WE3Live. I'm very excited, having Mahesh with us today. I know Mahesh, you very well for a long time, and I think rather than me telling about you, Mahesh, I would like to have the audience know about you personally and your role in IBM.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Deepak, and thank you, WE3Live, for the opportunity to be here. So I'm Mahesh Sudhakaran. I'm the General Manager for IBM's Energy, Environment, and Utility business. So I have the high honor of serving electric, water, and gas utilities. I call utilities the infrastructure of infrastructures, because without utilities, none of the other infrastructures happen, right? And I have been in this industry for the past 19 years. I've had the opportunity to be both on the operational side of things with Schneider Electric, and for the past decade, I've been with IBM on the technology side. So I would say I'm one of the few people who has a yin-yang moment, because I don't know which side I like more. So that helps me also have the empathy for my clients and partners, especially the challenges they're going through. Utilities are at a very promising time right now because of things, especially the topic around energy transition. And I feel that utilities have a pivotal role to play. And we as IBM feel that as the world becomes more hybrid in nature, the work that we do with as a company and also partners such as Smart Energy Water is going to play a foundational role for helping utilities transform. So I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Thank you, Mahesh. And we talked about this when we have a one-on-one conversation. I think the industry had a great respect for IBM, being a great software company, and definitely advising globally for multiple industry. And definitely I've been lucky having a great interaction with a lot of IBM team members, including you and Brad, Being in this industry for a long time, Mahesh, I know that, you've seen multiple things, multiple trends coming in. What is our top 3 priorities you think right now? I know that's a new era everywhere. There is a lot of conversation going on. IBM is moving into the new era with Arvind being making certain changes. What are the top 3 priority you as a leader for the energy utilities, in IBM, you try to drive?
Yes, so thank you, Deepak, for that question, right? So as IBM, right, we one of the things that we are very well known for is to be essential for our clients. And every transformation that we have had as a company is to be at the forefront of being essential. So the big transition that we as a company and also the industry is going through is on the concept around hybrid cloud and AI. Because after the past decade of seeing cloud, we have realized, our clients have realized, and the industry has realized that it is not one cloud or the other cloud that matters. It is basically how do you orchestrate the different workloads that you have to get to value. And to do that, you will have to have an optionality of working across different cloud environments, because that is where your data resides. And also based on specific things, specifically for regulated industries such as utilities, wherein the restrictions with data, you have to always work in a hybrid environment. And to do that, you need a foundation that is fundamentally very different from what has existed. And we as IBM are providing that foundation in the form of Red Hat, especially the container orchestration layer that's OpenShift. And we want to be the platform orchestrator of choice for our clients. And we also want to really differentiate in AI for business, because there's a lot of commodity AI. And we as a company feel that AI has to be applied in specific ways so that it's valuable for business. And we are one of the few technology companies out there that has very strong industry practices, which is the one I'm leading. And also, we are building out a very, very strong partner ecosystem, especially in my conversations with Smart Energy Water, and how together we can partner, especially in the domain of energy transition, and together we can win this for our clients.
No, thank you. I think, Mahesh, I'm definitely from on behalf of SW team and the industry, we felt the same energy when we got into the very deep strategic partnership 2 years back. And I think the synergy between two companies are not just because of we have a partnership, but we can see how we can help together, to this industry, because we know that this industry is going through a very major digital transformation.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the digital era post-COVID, I think this is the word every industry start talking. And when we talk about it for energy utilities, that this look very promising, because we do understand there was some, I should say, the challenges irrespective of because of regulations, because of the data sensitivity and all. Now we see this era of digital transformation is very high speed. What do you see that very promising around that from IBM standpoint, overarching, the partnerships you have, not only SAW, but definitely, all the other stuff IBM is doing. Just share with that, what that era look like for IBM.
Well, absolutely, Deepak. And this is a very important question for us, and also on how we look at the industry. When I look at the industry, and especially energy transition, I look at it from the point of two fundamental truths. The first truth is renewable energy is becoming price parity, and the second thing is it's good business of using renewable energy. We don't have to get into any of those previous debates. The second thing is the world is electrifying. So it's starting off with electric vehicles, it's starting off with buildings using more electricity. I'm seeing industries electrifying, starting with low heat, and going from there. Now imagine if these true truths of renewable energy and electrification, if they combine, what happens? What happens is clean energy fuels electrification, which fuels how we do work. That means the world can get to sustainability in a very, very practical manner. And guess what? Electrification involves electricity, and electricity still requires wires and cables, right? So utilities have a foundational role to play to become the new platform to make energy transition real. And this is something I'm super excited about, because utilities were in industries that were always adjacent to a lot of trends. In this particular kind of energy transition, it is utilities where the tire meets the road. And this is something I'm very, very excited by. And I see both IBM and partners such as Smart Energy Water playing a very key role.
No, thank you. I think Mahesh, there's no better time than what we all see in front of us. The value of the industry, I'm sorry, I'm putting a financial term into that. I think the valuation of the industry itself gone 100x because of everything is getting electrified. And I think to your point, Shule, that digital transformation now, it's no more a checkbox,
Yeah.
It has to be done, It doesn't matter when we talk about demand, doesn't matter we talk about, there are distributed energy resources coming into the play. Definitely, we talked about the 5G of the world, the IoT of the world, everything is kind of getting into it. So the world is getting digital, but at the same time, to be digital, there is electricity needed. How you make sure the handshake happen. So when you see that, what we used to talk as a vision, you see as a becoming reality, for good reasons. From industry standpoint, when you talk to the leaders globally, I know that you're connected with North America to the Europe to Middle East to Asia, multiple clients of and the leaders of the industry. How you see them taking this, and how they are gearing up for this transformation according to you?
Well, absolutely right, and this is something that I see what I call a vision to reality that is happening. So what I see fundamentally, what is changing? So what is the vision that's changing, and what is becoming more real? So utilities have realized that because of renewable energy coming into the mix, and also because of electrification happening, you cannot manage a network anymore. It is not about managing a network in 5-minute, 15-minute intervals. You now have to orchestrate the different parts of the network, right from generation, transmission to retail. Now it's a continuum that needs to be managed, because there is uncertainty on both ends. And the way you do that is with data. And you have to break through silos. You have to have experiences, including customer experiences, which are seamless, right? And this is the place wherein you cannot do this manually at scale. So this is also a place where you need a lot of automation. You need a lot of AI coming into the picture. And this is where I see leaders in business already making moves. They're starting off in the domains of what I call better renewable integration technologies. They're looking at how do you integrate electric vehicles into cities, and how do you do what I call orchestration across different dimensions. So this is something that's starting to emerge. I see, especially because of regulation, a lot of the European utilities have already started making very big progress. I see very leading utilities in North America working with DOE and EPRI and all the bodies, starting off with pilots that are becoming commercial scale right now. And already we have got leaders, especially in California and in Texas, who are already at the forefront in the form of integrating renewable energy, right? So I see this vision coming into reality. But the thing that I'm more excited about is when the different dimensions of generation, transmission, distribution don't work as silos, but they come together as a seamless orchestration. And that is something that we as IBM are excited by.
No, that's so true. I think what we've seen in last 5 years is like definitely the different speed of transformation from all the way to generations, to transmissions, to distribution, to even within the distribution side, doesn't matter. You talk about regulated and non-regulated, I think everybody is so much interconnected. So when we talk about this digital different stages, when you look definitely North America to Europe and Asia and Middle East, all these utilities are going through this digital transformation. Do you see that they are at the, we always talk about this trends. What are the trends you see, the top 3 trends going on the digital transformation in the utilities, and love to know from you, because I know that we always talk, I think the audience really would like to know from you, what do you see the trends coming in the utilities, from a digital transformation standpoint?
Yeah, so for me, I think, Deepak, there are like 2 parts, right? So for me, first is digital transformation and utilities embracing digital transformation. I think in the past decade, utilities have been accelerating digital transformation, right?
Sure.
And especially utilities are becoming platforms. And they are embracing not only like foundational capabilities from an infrastructure and orchestration capabilities that comes from companies like IBM, but they're also working with partners such as yourself, Smart Energy, Water, on looking at end-to-end customer solutions, which can be bought as a package, right? So that is one part of digital transformation that's accelerating. I feel this conversation is also happening in what I call value pools. The first set of value pools was around customer, wherein there's a lot of progress that has happened. And customers engaging, customer engagement, and especially around the call centers and chatbots. I would call that as phase 1. The second phase now is starting into other dimensions of the utilities around asset operations, energy systems. This is where digital transformation is going. The reason why it's succeeding is because people have identified value pools. With customer experience, you have shown that digital transformation can be successful. Now people are using the example of the customer transformation to build the business cases to do transformation asset and other dimensions, right? So now using success in one place and using that to replicate in other dimensions. So I feel that this trend is going to accelerate. And the energy transition, and just like I said about things need to be orchestrated, this is just going to accelerate. And I'm very positively looking forward to it. The second question you had was around what do I see as trends? A lot of trends, right? I'm definitely 2 trends I want to talk about separately. But on the highest level, I feel that open source is a big trend because what is happening is this something that I'm seeing translate from other industries such as telcos, wherein the stacks were initially very proprietary. They were both from infrastructure and software standpoint. Now, I think in what happened in telcos, wherein how you manage a network, architect a network, became more software defined, especially on the concept of network function virtualization. I think similar concepts are going to come in utilities and for the different utility packages. And I think open source is going to be huge. And other topics are ones I've talked about, like AI is going to be a big play. And I think 5G and edge are going to be disruptors. The 2 things which I want to like really talk about, which I think are extremely critical, are customer experience and e-mobility, which I think, Deepak, you do a lot of work on.
No, thank you. I think, uh, Mahesh, I think this is where, this is truly, I feel that, this interconnectivity, uh, one connected, a value creation connected to another value creation, and actually become a use case for the next one, the next one. And this is what we see in the marketplace, for us, when we used to talk in the industry 5 years back, when we talk about customer experience, good reasons everybody may be getting the value out of that. And we suddenly said, we are actually giving you all interconnectivity in a single platform where your customers do an activity which they're putting a load on an asset. Asset is being maintained by the workforce. Workforce require intelligence from AI so they can take care of asset X versus Y because they are running on AI and they can schedule and dispatch accordingly. Now it's become reality. And I feel that, and I love that I'm going to be using that, please don't put a IP on it, because the success on the CX side, it's really driving a lot of it, because now the customer, the success, two things is, one is utilities are very open now to give that multiple use cases and business, outlines to the customer to operate to any channel. And the second thing is, because of that, they are also looking beyond that digital customer experience, so how to go and connect the dots so that customer feel like we have Amazon of the world, and everybody says why Amazon is great. And because Amazon actually not only figured out how to provide the low cost, the definitely doesn't matter, you buy books to start with, and then now they're selling the grocery. At the same time, give it the competitive cost, and the time to delivery is very minimal. And I think if we look in that, they created the new experience. Uber did the same thing. And I think we just feel the utilities are in that business of how the customer can do everything digitally, rather than if they want to call us, they can call us. But the point is, they are looking for that. So if I go from there, I'm going to share with you my point of view, and I'd love to know after that your point of view on that. In the last 5 years, I think you've seen it. Everybody just keep coming out and saying, we can also do customer experience, we can all do analytics, we can do AI, we can do this, we can do cloud, we can do this. And you've seen everybody popping up with the digital solutions, right? And saying they can do it. Somebody's trying to do 2%, somebody trying to do 10%, but nobody have a end-to-end, solution which can really serve the purpose of this transformation. So from your standpoint, if I put you on a spot as a utility decision maker, you are part of this industry as an IBM leader, what you suggest, what you think is right now going on and is available around you, where you feel you can suggest when you are in that kind of decision making capability. Yes, I know that this works, it will go to that transition. It can take you the transition stage 1 to stage 2, stage 3, and this is the right approach to go. Just share some insight on that. That will be really great.
Oh, absolutely, Deepak. For me, I like I said, right, and I've been doing this for the past decade. AI is something that I've had an opportunity to do from the what I said genesis of AI, at least in industry. So I always talk of two concepts. It's called random acts of AI or random acts of digital transformation. That is how it started off.
Sure.
Right? And then we went through another phase called death by 1,000 POCs. So we have crossed that stage. So
sure.
Now we're getting to a point where in AI and digital transformation, especially the value pools have been identified, right? So now we don't need to debate about where to start, right? And for a utility, I always say for utilities have a social contract with the communities they operate in, right? It's to deliver safe, reliable, affordable, and equitable electric, water, and gas, right? So that is what they do, right? So that everything that they need to do from a digital transformation standpoint has to support that goal. So to do that, and I also realize that utilities also don't have the benefit of having a lot of data scientists, and because especially smaller utilities like municipal utilities around the world, they don't have like spare data scientists to like create their own products, right? So I feel that utilities need to have a good balance in having foundational data platforms which are flexible, which come from a whole host of vendors, including IBM. And the second thing is there are commercial packages, especially on the customer domain, which come from partners such as Smart Energy Water, which should be considered, because therein you're not talking about another system integration project. You're talking about a value conversation and how do you get to value faster? And that is what is the most important. And so I think utility execs and including folks like us who are serving utilities, we need to move from a tools conversation to a solutions conversation to a value conversation, right? And I think that is critical. I think we have to talk value to utilities because they have the social contract of delivering electricity, water, and gas. They are not technology. They are not in the business of technology like us. So we have to talk from a value perspective.
No, I think, Mahesh, I can't put more words into that because I'm not going to be naming that. We've seen it, in the industry, when the very, very big utilities gone to the custom mindset, or how big solution mindset, and then they invest a lot of money to go to the digital faster. Actually, it dragged them not only with a high investment and no return. At the same time, they pretty much find out by the time they were able to get to the point X, it is already too old and it's no more standard. And how you get, and this is, I'm going to be sharing with you, my own and our team, I think we are eyewitness for that 5 years back, 3 years back, for us to have a platform conversation about customer experience platform or mobile workforce. It is a hard conversation because definitely you need to go 10 meetings or 5 conversations to get the value out of that. But now, because the globally, doesn't matter we talk in North American utility to the Europe or Middle East or Asia, it's resonate right away. And they all want faster end-to-end as a technology platform rather than, hey, we will integrate that, and we will do one day, maybe you will get the value. Can you show me it is working? Yeah. Can you talk about solution? Can you talk about the business value? Can you talk about is that integration being done before? Is like the tech company or the tech platform like IBM or SAP and all, are they backing this one up? Because we are not talking about an enterprise solution who's sitting and being used by 10 users or 1,000 users. You're talking about millions of customers going to come to this platform and how they're going to use that transformation. So definitely we've seen a big shift, people to go more standard, more robust solution, and I think in our success, IBM definitely play a great, not only strategic partner, because we learned a lot by working on a multiple AI use cases and integration side and both CX and mobile workforce. So I know that we will be trending towards, we maybe have to take some question. Last thing I will ask you, just which 3 disruptor you select, for good reasons, in this industry?
No, for me, the 3 disruptors, like I said, right, I think open source is going to be very, very disruptive because it's a fundamentally different paradigm of how you do things, because you're trying to take the best from the communities and then apply it into your industry. And open source has been tried, tested, proven in other industries, and it is coming to utilities. And I think utilities will embrace it because that's the only way you're going to move from management to orchestration. Sure. The second thing I said is about AI. I think AI in production is moving from the fringe to what I call POC hell to actual use cases. And I think AI is going to be embedded in almost every workflow to make them more intelligent. It's starting off with automation and it'll go into much more complex use cases. And finally, I think 5G and edge is going to be disruptive because it fundamentally changes the communication paradigm. And now you can push more use cases onto the edge. I always say now IoT will be realized because now the communication network is solved. Because with IoT, we have been collecting data, but not doing a lot with it, right? With 5G, it solves a lot of the communication challenges at a right price point, and also with some trust, because data requires trust to go along with it. So I think these are the 3 trends which I find are valuable. And to your point, I think electric mobility and customer experience are also going to be very critical trends.
No, I cannot agree, Mahesh, more than that. Like we are think alike because of as being technology platform. I think these are the 5 major areas, our core focus, how to leverage. And again, I love the point you said that it's no more POC, it works and all. It is truly value-driven, AI, value-driven, the leverage of IoT and 5G, and value-driven experience to the customer and the workforce, and leveraging to the biggest disruptor in this industry is the load EV is going to be putting, the e-mobility, like everything will be eventually the shift on the load we had from the oil is going to be electricity, and how we're going to manage the grid. Tom, I really love that conversation. I want to quickly, because I know we have a limited time, 3 minutes left. I want to take it, some questions, Sarah, we have some question. Let me read it out. Okay, I think this is a good one. If you were to predict the future of the industry 30 years from today, what comes in your mind? Mahesh, you take it first. I will just jump on it.
So for me, this is exactly what I've been talking about. It's going to be, future is going to be electric, future is going to be autonomous, and the future is going to be renewable. Right? For me, all of these trends are going to come together, and I think we're already starting to work towards it. And for the first time, I feel that the promise of AI is getting delivered. The world is embracing electrification. And yes, renewable energy is good business, right? So I think when these are now 3 different trends, now if they're all able to come together, I think the world is going to be far better off. I'm looking forward. I'm excited.
Great. I really want to just add to that. I feel that customer is always going to be in the nucleus of all of us people. And the outside orbit is definitely how we make it customer more intelligent by AI, what you just said. How we feed the customer with the different sources, because this is the finite resources. We can't just keep generating that, And I just feel that, the world is going to be more smarter, more cleaner if we continue what we commit today. I think that's a very important. And I think globally people are understanding that, we cannot, and I use this in another W3, we cannot live without water, and we cannot innovate without electricity or the power and gas. So I think we both know that we love our utilities a lot. We devoted our time of our professional life to this industry, being industry focused and tech focused, and we will continue for the next 30. I don't know how we'll be looking that time, but we'll be definitely more advanced from here. Another question quickly. The person put that if Deepak and Mahesh had a message to share with the 7 billion people on earth, what that will be. And also, if they can tell what do they see, how will this whole utility service environment look exactly 10 years down the line? Okay,
so for me, if this message that I want to share is that of hope, right? Because last year was difficult. By any definition, it was difficult, right? I think the world is doing the right things to come out of some of the challenges, and I feel that utilities, renewable energy, sustainability are going to be not only thoughts about advocacy, they're going to become real. And I feel that at least the world that we are creating for us and our kids is going to be better off than before, right? And I think utilities and the folks who serve utilities have a role to play. So my message is that of hope. I think I'm hopeful that all of these trends are going to become real. They're going to accelerate, and they're going to make the world a better place. So that's my message.
No, that's good. I just will add that, Mahesh, and I feel that the 7.68 billion people across the globe, what I feel that, they have to get more educated, more empowered, and more engaged with this industry, because I think this industry works so hard. Everybody in this industry who's serving this industry works so hard to provide the sustainability and reliability across the board. We've seen it, what happened in Texas. We feel bad about that, when you don't have water, power, and gas, what happened. And I think 10 years down the line, we will be very advanced for sure. I know that the industry is completely committed to become more advanced, more and more software driven, hardware driven. And I feel that we will have a more predictability in our systems with the people being engaged very closely. And I feel that our world, what you just said, and our future generation will be saying thank you to all of us together and our industry more, because we are just serving to this industry. They acted on right time to save the most important commodity for the world.
Absolutely.
I have one more question. I know we are already one minute over. It's from Ravi. I'm based in Montreal. We run 96% hydropower. Therefore, our grid is very clean and cheap. I was wondering, in the future, could you see additional transformation being applied to unifying the grid across the borders and potentially selling from a place like Quebec where there excess of renewable energy, for example, northeastern part of the US, where anywhere that run primarily in the fossil fuel?
So for me, the answer for this question is not a straightforward answer, because for me, whenever I have one such question, it's all about finding the right balance, because it's not just about electricity. It is about a portfolio of solutions that need to come together. Because the biggest thing about electricity is resiliency, right? Just having one type of energy does not make electricity resilient. I think it's a portfolio of approaches that need to come together. So hydro is going to be one of the elements in the mix, but we will also need other elements. But again, I feel that the business models and the marketplaces will evolve as energy transition becomes more mature. So when that happens, I think any and all of these possibilities are possible, right? But then again, I would say it's the balance and portfolio approach that is going to win long term.
Yeah, I'll just add, Mahesh, to Ravi, who asked this question. I can just tell that definitely that's such a great information. Definitely, this is a clean 96% clean energy, which is great. They are already meeting the standard to be clean. But to your point, utilities and definitely the power, water, gas company will be more valuable if they have anything in excess. It's a great thing, because not having an excess will be an issue. Because I think all of us will be dependent upon more and more on the water power and gas and power for sure soon, because of the electrification what's happening. So I can tell the Ravi, to this, definitely the business model is going to be changed for sure, as Mahesh said. I think the utilities will be more faster, be adopting two-way grid. How the renewables at the residential or CNI, how the battery will play the game, how the EV will definitely play a big role from a demand and response standpoint. And I think we will be soon going to be looking a two-way grid, where we will become the consumer and we become the actually retailer for the utility itself, and they will buy from us. So it's a great future for this industry and all of us who are serving to this industry, and we are looking forward for that. And I really want to thank you. I know that we are 4 minutes away. Mahesh, it was great having this conversation, and thank you being with me on this W3Live. And I think the Z Prime team will take any additional question, guys. If you have any other question on the people who are watching, and this video will be available on the website for the future view. And thank you everybody for participating. Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Deepak, and thank you, Smart Energy Water. Thank you, W3.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Mahesh. And thanks to all of our listeners and our behind the scenes team, Chris, Holton, Sarah Forgeau. I just want everyone to know that the video is going to be available today on Swapcard and on YouTube. And we hope to see you all again soon for the next iteration of the WE3Live Clean Tech Innovation Series. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.